I ended up getting a home. Like everything worked like clockwork. Like within like, and then we started like in January. I had a home, or I had closed on my home by March. So January, February, March, like within 2 months, I had a home, and I am now a homeowner. Thankfully, God is so good. It surpassed my dreams because also, um, and like I said, this is all going along with when I gave up distractions and I really got in my word and started to seek God, how he made my wildest dreams come true. And he really did, y'all. Let me tell you. He like a long time ago. My son is 10 years old now. We both have the same birthday. And he just turned 10 this summer. But at the time he was 3 years old. And the route I would always take to church, um, I would see these neighborhoods that I really liked. And I would always point to them each time I would go to church. And I would say to my son, we're going to live over here one day. At the time, he was 3. And at first, he would look. But eventually, after I kept doing it, he just wouldn't even look. He'd be playing with his toys in the back seat or something. But every time I drove past the neighborhood, I would say, we're going to live over here one day. And that was my goal. Well, like I said, my son's 10 now. And at the time, he was 3. So that's like, I want to say 7 years ago, that I would do that. Since that time, life had life. I got distracted away from the things of God. I was just not even spending any time in my word, nothing like that. I had nothing like that going on anymore. And I got distracted, went through a relationship or two, actually ended up getting married and divorced in 6 months because God had already shown me before I even met that man, I don't have that for you right now. This is not the season for that. I need you to focus on school. I need you to focus on the home. But what did I do? I went and I got distracted, listened to the sweet nothings, and decided, well, I think this is a God, so I'm gonna do it. You know how we do when we want to do things ourselves and don't consult God. When a lot of times God already showed us, girl, please, no, I didn't have that for you in the first place, right? So, nevertheless, by this time, it's like since the time that I had said that to my son when he was younger, like we're gonna move over here, it's probably like I want to say about what I want to say it's been like about 6 years later when I got out of all of that. Like I said, the marriage lasted about 6 months. Um, and I ended up moving back to the city I lived in prior to getting married. I had moved to his city when I was married, but then I moved back. And don't get me wrong, great guy. We just were not on the same page. Ended up being it just wasn't what it was or what it should have been. So moved back. Um, um, when I say it wasn't what it wasn't blessed by God. It wasn't blessed by God. And I would have to get into details, and I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it just wasn't of God. And so I had to go ahead and humble myself, eat a little humble pie, move back home, rebuild my life. And this time, though, I did it by getting closer to God. And when I did that, I went from living, when I moved back to my home city, I went from living on my younger sister's living room floor on a mattress. My son was in Indiana with his dad at the time. During the summertime, this is when it happened. So thankfully, he wasn't in the midst of all the debacle of me, transitioning from being married, getting divorced, and, in the situation I was basically living on a mattress in my sister's living room, trying to figure out life again. And so once I got back to my home city and got situated, I really dedicated myself to the Lord. And I began to see where once I was serious, I showed I was serious for a dedicated amount of time now, not no little cute, oh, I'll do this for a week and then after a month I don't do it anymore. No, I was just like so consecrated in the Lord. My mom's a pastor and she even called me. I don't know if my dad told her something. I don't know, but she even called me. She's like, baby, don't get too deep. Like she was even like, what's going on? Like, but no, I was serious about the Lord because I had had a conversation with God when I was married. Like, God, I see you now. And if you lead the way, I'm going to dedicate, you know how we do those things. Like, oh gosh, this hurts. If you help me here, I won't do it no more. You know how that be. Even like when we're out in the world and we're like trying to, like the next day after getting a little too tipsy, we're like, oh, this hanger, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, so that was me during, and then after I made sure I fulfilled that, you know, because I understood what it was like to go outside of his word, to go outside of his instruction, and how far it'll set you back. And so I didn't want to do that anymore. So I went ahead, I got dedicated on my, like I said, I was on a mattress in my sister's living room, trying to figure it out again. And sure enough, as I continued to dedicate myself to the Lord, the pay I was making when I was married tripled. I was able to get my own apartment at that time. The more I dedicated myself to the Lord, as I said, it went from apartment to achieving a life goal of becoming a homeowner comfortably. You know, I'm not struggling. I'm doing this comfortably. Okay. There's a difference. God's not going to give you what God say. I'm not going to bless you with something that's a burden, right? If it's a burden, it wasn't from me, right? So God did that. Now, here's the thing. When I used to tell my son when he was 3 that we don't live in this neighborhood, when I got my house, I didn't even realize I'm living in that neighborhood till like a month later. And the reason why, oh my goodness, the reason why is because when me and my realtor would come see the house, it was on it was like the front entrance of the neighborhood. I never seen the front entrance of the neighborhood. I had always gone this back way that's over by my church. So I had never seen the entrance. So that's where she would always bring me when we would come look at the house. So I never connected the dots. So this was the neighborhood that I used to always point to. And so it wasn't until a month later, I need to go grocery shopping. And so there's a Walmart. It said it was a Walmart in the area. I was still getting familiar. So I put it in my Maps Quest app on my phone so I could drive there. Drove there, got my groceries. Then I put my new address in the Maps Quest. And the route it took me, I was like, oh, it must be going a long way or something. So I took it and I'm driving. When I come to the stop sign, it looks so familiar. And then it clicked. This is the stop sign that I used to come to when I used to tell my son, this is the neighborhood we're going to live in. And this is the neighborhood that I used to say that about. Wait, why is it taking me over here? Like I said, it was taking me the back way I used to come through a long time ago to go to church. I didn't know. So I'm like, where? Because I'm used to the front entrance. I'm looking for that. I'm like, oh gosh, it's about to take me around the world. So I start to turn left on the street prior to the street to get into my neighborhood. I'm like, oh y'all, I was like, because my son was in the car. I was like, that's the neighborhood I used to stay. Then I noticed, I looked at the map. You know, you can look at the blue line telling you where to go. It was going straight into the neighborhood. I was like, wait, what? And I said, no way, God. I'm tripping out. My son's like, what? He's 9 he was 9 at the time when I was doing this. He's 10 now. Like I said, it wasn't that long ago. I think I I closed on the house in March. A month later, April is when I noticed it. So anyway, so I'm going into the neighborhood. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the exact neighborhood I used to point to. I'm talking to my son and tell you we're gonna live over here one day. I can't believe I said, really, God? I'm just like freaking out. I'm like mind blown. Like, you really did this? You really put me in this neighborhood? And I'm like just overjoyed. I couldn't believe it. I was like, for real, God? I'm literally saying, like, for real? This how you doing it? This how you do it? Like, I was like amazed, and it really touched me because I thought that with all the bad decisions that I had made in life, all the many distractions I had given myself over to, that God was not going to honor my prayer and my desire to live in that one neighborhood. And to find out that once I got back on track, He had already had my blessings stored up for me. He was just waiting on me. Isn't that amazing? Like I said, that was years ago I used to say that. I'm thinking after all this time, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm thinking that's not for me anymore because I've counseled myself out for those blessings. God showed me, no, baby. You can't do nothing to cancel out the blessings I have already stored up for you. You and nobody else can cancel what I have stored up for you. I just need you to only trust and believe and follow me, and I will take care of the rest. That's what God showed me. So every day I walk into my home, every day I am in my home, I am praising Him, I am thanking Him, I am lifting Him up. And I'm remembering, this is my place of remembrance, that baby, as long as you abide in me, you're good. I don't care what mistake you have made. Repent, move forward. Don't allow it to make you feel like, this falsehood of being convicted, of where you condemn yourself, like you can't move on, like God won't bless you anymore. No, ma'am. No, sir. Get back into His word if you're not in it. Draw yourself nigh unto God if you're not close. Start walking that narrow path, because whatever it was that you felt like, man, I this is what I want, but you feel like now you disqualified yourself because of maybe some decisions or distractions you allowed in, God still has it stored up for you. You just need to trust, believe, and listen to Him. Follow His directions. Learn the difference between your voice and God's. And once you understand what's God's, move. When He tells you to move, move. Follow the instructions of the Lord. He might even start, I know with me, He started to bring to me different scriptures I never read before. And in those scriptures, I would get what I need to do next. I would get what I need to meditate on. And it would be part of what guided me each and every day. It would be part of what guided me with different situations would come to people. When I tell you, I have no doubt that there is nothing you or anyone else can do about the blessings God has for you to receive. I'm a living witness that if we trust and believe, it's ours. We just trust and believe, and all those distractions, be productive and really make the move to get them out of your way. Get them out of the way. Show God you're serious and be serious. And God will continue to add on. And the things that you thought you were disqualified for, He will show you no. I just had to wait until it was the right time. And now it's the right time. And so I'm sharing. I'm hoping and praying that this testimony helps somebody who is distracted or feels like you disqualify yourself from many things because of the choices you made in life. No. You are worthy. And God just needs you to get yourself together, get focused, so you can realize how worthy you are to Him. And in His eyes, He loves you unconditionally. He loves you. Trust and believe. Get back to God. Get back to Him so He can show you. All right. So this is Melissa. This is the inner me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will be back to talk to you another time. Have a good day.